Hi, Annette.
Hello. How are you, Paulina?
Hey, good. Nice to see you. Where are you calling from today?
Salt Lake City, Utah, United States of
Ooh,
America.
wow. I am in Turkey right now. It's very, very far away from where I am. So, how does Utah look like? Is it plain or is it mountainy?
We have mountains and deserts, red rock deserts. Uh, we do have a little bit of plains, but mostly we're high desert mountain area.
Wow, sounds beautiful.
It is
Definitely.
beautiful. So right now where I live, I'm surrounded by mountains.
Hmm. So you're a businesswoman, and I'm curious, are you surrounded with other businesswomen around you where you live? That's how you got inspired to start, is it?
Um, that isn't how I got inspired to start, but we have a very large women's entrepreneur community here in Utah. I think Utah is one of the fastest growing areas for female entrepreneurs.
Hmm. So do you find yourself being almost the only one who does digital, like online entrepreneurship versus the other ones? Because I know all the local communities, they have a lot of local entrepreneurs, the retail store owners and things like that, and very, very few actual digital nomads or online business owners. So is it the same with your community?
No, in our community, we have a lot of digital entrepreneurs, both females and males. We live in a very high-tech industry area where we have a lot of high-tech industry. We have a thing called Silicon Slopes here. It's kind of like Silicon Valley in California. It's kind of spilled over into Utah, and a lot of high-tech goes on here.
Oh, wow. Silicon Slopes. Have never heard of that. That is very interesting. So, what type of business do you run? Because I know you are doing a podcast with a very, very cool name. So let me share my screen and I'll show everyone what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's where you are. And you are running a podcast called Badass Business Strategies or Academy. So
My
badass in
podcast
business.
is my podcast is the Badass in Business Show.
Badass in business show. So how did you come up with the name? And are you badass yourself in business?
Oh, I'm pretty badass all around. And I actually came up with the name. I have two adult children, and every time I do something that's kind of kooky or crazy or something a guy would do, my kids are like, Mom, you're such a badass. And so when I was rebranding my business a few years ago, that was just what came to me. And after sharing it with a couple of my mentors and a couple of my colleagues, it's like, oh yeah, totally. You need to be the badass business chick and go with the badass brand.
So what are you known for? If I would ask you, what are you famous for and what do people come to you for? What type of advice and what is your expertise in?
Well, what I'm famous for and what I'm known for is taking an integrative approach to business. So I had a lifestyle and fitness coaching business prior to my business coaching and consulting business. So I did a lot of life coaching, hypnosis, spiritual coaching. And so I weave a lot of that into business coaching as well, because business coaching is life coaching. Your business is affected by your personal life is affected by your business. So it all integrates together. So I'm known for being able to integrate those and help people not only grow their business, but also find greater life satisfaction in all areas of life.
That's very interesting to me. I am now part of one mastermind called Managing Happiness, and that's exactly what we are about, talking about life and work balance, finding your mission, defining your goals, seeing what drives you, and tracking daily habits and things like that. So how does it work? If I'm your potential customer and I come to you for advice, ask you to be my coach, so how does the process look like? What will you start with?
Well, I start with something called a foundation session where I meet with them for 90 minutes and I go through a process where I work to understand what their motivation strategies are, where they're stuck, where they want to go, setting goals, understanding what their values are. And then everything is driven from that first conversation. Sometimes their needs are to grow their business, and sometimes their needs are to find more balance in life while they're growing their business. So I always take a twofold approach to business, and the client always drives our conversation. So they fill out a form, what they've accomplished, what were their wins and challenges, and what they want to work on that week, and then that's where we go from there.
So is it more tactical and strategical, or more like a conversation and accountability type of thing? So which one is it more?
It can be both. Most of the time it's very strategic. So we come up with plans, strategies, tactics that they need to employ to grow their business or to get their time management under control, because they can't seem to get everything done. And then there's an accountability piece to that. So if there's always strategy, there's always homework at the end of the coaching call that they'll be working on for the time until we meet again. But I'd say it's more strategy, whether it's life coaching or working on business strategy. There's always some kind of strategy involved.
So before coming to you, do I need to know already a little bit what my goals are and like what do I want out of it? Or like, let's say I'm an Amazon seller just starting to sell, and I am confused in the whole big forest of trees over there, and there's so much to learn and so much to find out. So how can you help me through my journey? Should I know what I want already, or can I be confused and come to you for help?
Well, confusion is part of the process. So a lot of people that come to me are very confused. They're not sure what the next step is. They're not sure how to accomplish everything that they need to do. So we're able to break it down in bite-sized pieces or chunk it down into manageable pieces so that it doesn't seem so overwhelming. So they know, okay, here's my next step, then the next step, then the next step. So people come to me, they have an idea of what they want, but very few come to me that have a strategic goal that they're trying to reach. There might be a financial goal involved there, but they're just not sure what the steps are to take to get there.
That's interesting. So, okay, so you are drawing from your own experiences, right, when you are coaching others?
And I'm drawing from my own experience and things that I've learned from others, things that I've learned reading books, in my trainings, in my certification courses.
Okay, so out of all of this, usually I guess there are different areas and topics. Like it could be mindset that one person is interested in, another person wants to put processes in his business, another one, it could be so many things, right? I'm curious which one you are personally more drawn to and enjoy, which one you enjoy and you could like write the whole book about it. Like what's the topic that you like?
Oh, I think mindset is infused in everything that we do in business. And I have some clients that they want to work just on business strategy, but their mindset gets in the way. And if they're not open to working on the mindset, then that tends to hold them back a little bit. So mindset, along with strategy, those are my two favorite things to talk about. But it seems like mindset always is the overriding topic that ends up, that we end up working on with my clients.
Could we dig into that a little bit deeper in the mindset topic? I am curious so is it mostly that they have a certain mindset that they need to change, or is it more like just opening your perspective to the things that they are?
It's a little bit of both. For example, I have a client that she was frustrated because she had all of these things she wanted to accomplish but wasn't getting them done. But what she wasn't seeing was what she was accomplishing and the steps that she had taken. I think a lot of times we want instant gratification. We want instant results. And so we fail to look at the small steps that we're taking to reach our goals. There's that saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You can't just consume the whole elephant. And, I work with a lot of clients on that. They fail to see what they are accomplishing because they're so focused on wanting to get there fast. And so I work a lot with that, and time management too, helping them understand more efficient ways to spend their time instead of spinning their wheels and then wondering why they're not getting things done that are on their list.
So how does mindset and time management go together? So let's speak in more practical terms. I guess for me, for example, I very often put to-do items on my calendar so that they would be forced on me to get done. But it's still, I end up just like dragging them to the next day and to the next day, so that, like you said, the mindset is important. So how to do that proper time management that you are actually feeling responsible for what you decide for yourself and not guilty after and not like postponing to the last minute? Like how do you do it in your business?
Well, part of it is, instead of getting overwhelmed that you're not getting things done, is to look back and kind of track what you're doing in your day. Are you getting distracted on social media? Are your kids calling you and interrupting your process flow? Do you set boundaries in your business so you're not interrupted by other people, so that you have those 50-minute time blocks to actually get something done in your business? Then once you understand where you're spending your time, then you can start deciding, okay, what realistically can I get done in a day? And what are the top priorities that I need to get done today, and the others can move on to the next day. So that's a good way to look at it. But part of that is, instead of getting overwhelmed, is to stop and track how you're spending your time every day, so that you can get a view of, where are my time wasters? Where am I unproductive, but I'm busy, not really getting anything done?
Sounds like you have to be quite a psychologist as well when you are working with others, right? It's a lot of similarities, I guess.
And I do have a degree in psychology, actually.
Okay, so makes sense.
That helps me out a lot. And two, when I started into the life coaching industry back in the early 2000s, I wanted to know where that boundary was. Someone comes to me with life issues, whether that was something I could coach them through, or that was something that they really needed to go into psychotherapy with, that was beyond what my boundaries were in my business. So that was one of the reasons I got a degree in psychology.
Very interesting. Yeah, because I see it. Personal coach, this business coaching has a lot to do with listening, right? Is that how it goes? You ask questions, you listen, and they are talking more than you? Is that how this works?
Absolutely. You have to be able to listen and allow them to talk through things, because that's where you really find the nuggets and what they really need to work on. You got to be able to kind of read between the lines of what they're saying, because sometimes they go off on tangents, and you've got to be able to bring them back to what you hear the core issue is, and then share your perspective and some things that they can do to move beyond that.
For example, for me as an entrepreneur, I'm very, work and business addicted. And if that would be my will and I would not have a family, because I have a husband and 2 small children, and family life in Turkey is pretty active and we meet each other a lot. And if it would be my will, I would probably just work 100% of my time. I am so addicted to the business. I feel like it's a game, a video game that I'm playing, and pull the string, do this, do that. And this is like a little, like this elephant eating bite at a time. But then once you've done the whole leg, you keep looking, oh my God, I ate the whole leg. It's like, it's so involving, so addictive, so, puts everything, and you come home and it takes like an hour until you detangle that thought and push your business away, and finally you can listen to what your husband is saying, properly. And I'm having so much trouble in my life to balance that life and work. I keep feeling guilty that I should give more to life than I am. And, when I'm trying to write the mission statement for my life or for the next 3 years, I always put those things out of guilt. So whatever I feel the most guilty of, like I should maybe, I don't know, motivate others and, make other people happy. But all this is happening 0.1% of the time, and the rest I'm just working, always working, and so that's the big thing, to manage the life and work. So what would you say could be my solution? What could I start with to solve that?
Well, I think first of all, you know where your passion is in your work. You know what your drive is in your work. And so then focusing on your home life, what is your passion about your home life? What do you value about your relationship with your husband? What do you value about your relationship with your children? How do you want to show up as a parent in the world? And so finding that deep core passion for that part of your life so that you can unplug from the business, which you say is addictive, it's like a video game. How can you find that same passion and drive in your personal life so that you can switch and then focus on that with the same zeal and the same excitement that you do your business? So sometimes it's just taking a different perspective look at either what you need to be more passionate about, or what's driving the passion in that side, or even where you might feel guilt there, and how you can change that guilt into purpose and passion.
But does my purpose, does it have to be noble? Can it be a little bit selfish? Like my purpose could be just build nice 5 new businesses. Does it really have to be noble and, conform to some social norm expectations? I keep feeling that I'm probably not the kind of person who can give a lot of personal joy, to family and to others. I just keep working. I don't know, showing my creative power through work. It's so hard to find that something that would excite me the same level as is the work.
And so, your purpose doesn't have to be some big wow out there. Your purpose is very personal to you. So some people, it might be their purpose in life is to be a good parent, to be a great neighbor, to participate in nonprofit organizations, to build 5 businesses. One thing you can look at is doing what you're doing. What kind of a role model are you being to your children as they're entering into a different generation than you grew up in? So that could be part of that passion and purpose as well, and showing my children how to live their dreams, how to be passionate about work, and how to be an entrepreneur and not rely on someone else's business to fund their life. So you can also look at how your business is, and what you do in business is helping your family, especially your children, grow into the people that they're meant to be. And that can be part of your purpose.
So I could just rewrite the mission statement to be something like, the creative power that I will unleash in my business will somehow contribute as well to the family's wellness.
Creative power.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. I do have this project that I started with my husband, so I really like filming and taking photos. Everywhere I go, I'm always with the phone and the camera. And since we had no phones a long time ago, I was always with the camera anyway. So I was just thinking to use this somehow, to bring that passion into the family side of things. So we started this project with my husband, just filming the city around on Saturdays and posting on a Facebook group for tourists to come to the city, So I really like now what you said, this one line that you bring the creative power from your business and you sort of put it in the family and also make that creative power. And suddenly I'm now thinking this filming passion, bring it to the family and make like together creativeness. Bring them into my
Absolutely.
circle. Interesting.
Absolutely. You can get your children involved in that. I'm not sure how old they are, but, technology is very much a part of young children's lives now. I mean, I have adult children. They didn't even get a cell phone until they were 16. They had to pay for it themselves. So times have changed, and young children have technology. And so letting them take pictures and incorporating those into what you're doing and let them feel part of the family project would be a great way to kind of unleash their creativity.
So you said you have children as well, right?
I do. I have 2 sons.
2 sons. How old are they?
They're 26 and 29.
Wow, you're so lucky. You are past the troubled times of helicoptering. It's really hard times.
Oh, please. Sometimes I still helicopter my kids.
Really?
As an adult. You never stop being a parent, ever.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm waiting for the times when I can just relax and enjoy, and not think about it.
It is better when they're adults. It's a different type of relationship. But so my son was over here last night. He wasn't feeling good, and it's like, okay, here's some vitamin C, and make sure you're taking these essential oils. He's like, Mom, I know, right? But I'll always be a mom. I'll always, look out for my kids' best interests, no matter how old they are.
Were you an entrepreneur when they were younger, like less than 18 years old?
Yes. They were, I think in junior high when I started my first business.
So how did you manage
middle school?
How did you manage the life and work balance, being a mom?
I'll tell you, got to have a lot of resilience. And one thing I liked about being in business for myself was having flexibility. So if my kids needed something, I could be there without having to take time off work and feel guilty because I was leaving the job or worry about the job. For probably the first, I'd say 10, 12 years of their life, I actually worked in the semiconductor industry. So I had a full-time job raising kids, and then I left and started my own business, went back to school full-time and got my degree. And so, you just got to be on top of things all the time. And, it's a challenge, but you're also, you have greater flexibility, I think, for your family as an entrepreneur than you do when you work a job.
And then they don't live with you anymore, right? Both of them? They moved out?
I have one that still lives at home. My youngest is still here.
Okay, so you still have like family dinners, and you don't work 14 hours a day now that they are more manageable.
Well, I still sometimes work 14 hours a day because I think that's just the world of entrepreneurism. If you've got that extra time on your hand, but usually I try and check out of my business around 6 or 7 o'clock at night and spend some time with my mother or spend some time with myself doing what I enjoy outside of business. Getting together with friends, watching The Voice, which I love watching The Voice. And
I don't know what The Voice is, actually.
The Voice here in the United States, it's a singing competition show on TV. So it's a lot of fun.
So you do have good work and life balance. So you don't feel like, you have dreams about work, things like that.
Oh, I still have dreams about work sometimes. It depends on what's going on in my business. Yeah, if I've got a lot of things on my plate that are not getting done because I'm focused on maybe a client's project or something like that, then sometimes I have dreams about work. But I think a lot of that has settled down over the years.
So are you happy with what you achieved, let's say, in the last 3 years in your business? If you look back, you feel like you moved on a lot, or is it like, are you making progress towards where you want to be?
Absolutely. I guess it's just been a little over 2 years ago, I rebranded to the Badass Business Chick and Badass in Business, my Badass in Business Academy. And that has been a life changer for me because it really is a standout brand. And that has brought a lot of attention to my business. And then, of course, my podcast and speaking, training. So, yes, the last 3 years, things have moved quite rapidly.
Very interesting. So all this contribution to the growth of it was all of it together, like the podcast plus speaking gigs plus doing the academy. So is it all together? What would you say drove the most growth? You know how it is 80-20, sometimes the 20% drives the 80%. Is there a 20% something?
I would say the 80% is the Badass in Business Academy and moving people towards that training program. And the 20%, I'd say, is probably the podcast. It's brought a lot of visibility, but not a lot of financial rewards. But then I didn't do it for financial. I did it for visibility and credibility.
Very nice. That's what I'm trying to do with my podcast, just, being new in it, and I'm curious how it all works out in the end. All right. Well, so you said you have an academy. So can I take a look? Is there a website for an academy, or is there a page, Facebook page? Let me see.
The academy it's on my LinkedIn page. It's badassinbusinessacademy.com. And you can go in there. You can download a free video. You'll start getting information from me, of course, when you opt in for the video. You start getting information from me, some trainings from my group.
So what does the academy do? Like, what is it about? Is it a mastermind, like a group, or is it a membership of some kind?
The academy is a self-directed program. So when you buy into the academy, you do a map that outlines, where you're at, where you want to go, and then through that you get the map to the trainings that will facilitate your goals. So some people, it may be that they need to increase their sales. Some people, it may be website presence. Other people, it may be marketing strategies. And so each person will have a specific map that they'll follow certain trainings in the academy. And of course, it's open, even if what they need to work on is sales, they still have opportunities to go in and watch the marketing videos or get the additional trainings on their website or how to do a landing page or something like that. So it's very strategic business focused, the academy is.
So it's a paid program, right?
It is. It's a paid program. And most of my clients that work with me one-on-one, they go through the academy. And then we also work on other things. But people that choose just to do the self-directed, they don't have much access to me personally.
Okay. And is there pricing that I could see?
Somewhere on there.
Okay. So subscription based, right?
Right. So there's a pricing right there. And it is a subscription.
Okay. Cool. So that's pretty affordable to have a mastermind group and coaching for that price. So how is the community there? Is everyone in online business, or like what's the distribution of niches in the community?
It's a variety of different businesses, from real estate to housekeeping businesses to I've got some people on there that run a tutoring company for college kids. So it just depends. It really is a valuable training model for any type of business.
Very cool. Okay, so I guess the audience could check it out themselves. And the website was badassinbusinessacademy.com.
Exactly.
All right.
And there's a free video that they can download that will give them a little bit of an idea of what they can expect in the training. I'll give them a taste of what comes in the training. And then there's also a weekly group coaching call that one of my colleagues does.
Okay, very interesting.
So like I said, through the academy, they don't get much access to me unless they purchase some kind of one-on-one or group coaching program with me.
Okay. So before I let you go, could you give us maybe one tip that you commonly give during your coaching calls? Like, what is the most common advice that you say, that you keep repeating to almost everyone? Is there something like that?
You know, I think it just varies for everyone, but I think for entrepreneurs, be clear on where you're going. Make sure that you weed out some of that confusion and set those strategic goals for yourself. And then hire a coach or a mentor or join a mastermind group so that you can get support, because it's really hard to go down this road alone. It really is a challenge to try and do entrepreneurship all by yourself. I mean, it's hard to do life all by yourself, and usually we lean on our friends and family to help us do the life part. But if they're not entrepreneurs, they're not going to understand your journey, because it's totally different from being an employee. And so you want to make sure that you have other people that can guide you through the process, help you when you get stuck, and hold you accountable so that you take the action that you know you need to take to grow your business.
That's great advice. Great advice to join a group or a mastermind or a circle of community that are just like you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Annette, if people want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
They can reach out to me. There's a contact page on the Badass in Business Academy, and also on my website at AnnettePieper.com, and you spell Piper P-I-E, just like the yummy dessert.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Or they can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn as well.
Okay. Facebook or LinkedIn as well. Thank you very much, Annette, for coming to my show today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.